Hello and welcome to a new episode of Relocate to Happiness podcast. Today with me, I have Dale Wallington. He's a personal trainer and a travel business owner. He's originally from UK and he spends his time now between Ericeira, Portugal, and Santa Teresa, Costa Rica. Today we're going to have a conversation about happiness and well-being. So stay tuned. Between Ericeira and Santa Teresa, Costa Rica, not too bad, huh?
Yeah, that's where I spend, most of my time. Generally spring, summers, autumns in Ericeira, where it's a very, very good place to be. Head to Costa Rica when it gets a little bit cold here. And yeah, I found two places that kind of align with what I want from life and really enjoy spending my time there. So I'm very fortunate.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Definitely. I know both of them. I'm like, Santa Teresa is one of the places I love the most.
Yeah,
and
it's amazing.
Yeah, I told you I just had a friend over about
exactly.
it. And it's like, oh my God, maybe it's a sign. Maybe I should just...
Yeah, there's lots of people going there, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely, for December.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have like a lot of questions to ask you, but I'm going to start easy. And I'm going to confess that I'm a stalker on your Instagram.
Yeah, I saw that.
And one of the things was like, what is the Romanian the deadlift, right?
Romanian deadlift, yeah.
I'm from Romania. I didn't know there's a Romanian deadlift.
There is apparently, yeah. It's a variation on a normal deadlift. A deadlift is picking something heavy off the floor. A Romanian deadlift is where you keep slightly straighter legs. And it's just called that because I believe in the 80s or maybe the 70s when weightlifting was really big, the Romanians popularized that. Just as the Bulgarians did a split squat, so you have the Bulgarian split squat, the Romanian deadlift, and there's some other exercises that have kind of nationalities attached as well.
Pretty racist, right?
A little bit, yeah. But
what else? What other? Tell me more. The Canadian...
you got Russian twists.
What's the Russian
twist? Is a core movement where you hold a dumbbell or a weight and twist side to side.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are the main three, I would say. But yeah, it's done with compassion. People like that movement. It's there's nothing negative about it. So yeah, it's all good.
But I will definitely look into the history of the Romanian.
To see, yeah.
Yeah. So then you know what. Okay. So first question: the personal journey about your health and the health promotion and personal coaching and training and the fitness.
Yeah, kind of a history on that.
Yeah, your
a
story.
Backstory. So. I was always into sport, a very sporty kid, played everything, tennis, football, rugby, a little bit of that. But I was quite fat or quite overweight when I was like 12 and 13. Our whole football team got really, really chubby at the same time because of the school food. But that's a different story.
No, but I want to know.
We were all super fit. And then the school changed their meals and we all started having a pie at break time, which was like 10 o'clock.
Really?
And then 2 hours later, we'd all have a big lunch and cake. And I can assure you, all 11 of our football team, or 14 of us, we all put on loads of weight at the same time. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was before healthy school meals were a thing. And yeah, we all
definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And then luckily I stretched out and got very, very long. Mm-hmm. But I was still very kind of conscious, as a lot of teenage boys are. I had really long limbs, as I still do, but I was quite skinny. Mm-hmm. That's what kind of got me into training and weight training. Mm-hmm. As typical with most 16-year-olds, 18-year-old boys, I didn't really know what I was doing. I would just go and kind of throw some weights around, hope that I got bigger, and I didn't. So as I got into my maybe 20s, I kind of looked into it more, really enjoyed the kind of learning about why we do what we do in the gym and the kind of other benefits that come from that. Mm-hmm. And from there, it's just become, like a habit that I wouldn't want to get rid of, It's just ingrained in me, as it is for many people. Yeah. Alongside that, I'm a kind of very empathetic, caring person. I really like helping people. I like seeing people improve. Mm-hmm. So it kind of links together where I wanted to help other people train. So it started off, in that age 20 period where I was just helping friends, realized that I was pretty good at it. I've got a good way of explaining things and breaking stuff down. Mm-hmm. So I did some courses, which meant I could train people. Mm-hmm. Never really pursued it as like a career. It was more of a thing I did on the side. Mm-hmm. But more recently, I've moved into the online world, as many coaches have. I've got a very good network of people from travel and from other jobs that I've had. And I'm fortunate to be working with, I think, 27 people across 14 countries right now. And that's always ticking over. People come, people go. So that number's always changing. But yeah, it's a very rewarding job. I love where I'm at right now. And yeah, I'm very, very happy.
Wow, thank you for sharing.
That's all right.
So you mentioned, so my next question is about the importance of to start, with a coach and to train. But you mentioned the fact that you were like going, to the gym by yourself. And for me, like the first thing that I was thinking about was like injuries.
Yeah, true.
I was like going, I started going to the gym since I was 14.
Yeah.
And I remember with a friend of mine, like just like putting so much weight in, doing all kind of weird stuff. And then I just fucked up my knees.
Definitely.
And I still have a problem with my left knee now. And I'm sure that I did like a lot of like things that I shouldn't have done.
Definitely.
So my question is, how important is to have a coach? Yeah. And how important is to, and I have another story, but I will let you answer on this one. How important is to start like something like a new sport with a coach?
Sure, that's a really good question. I think, with weight training, there is a risk there's an element of danger, right? There is a risk that you can be doing the wrong thing. The biggest risk, I would say, besides that, is actually that you just waste your time. How many people, maybe yourself included, definitely me, wasted 2, 3, 4 years just going and not really following a plan or doing what I was doing. If you're already investing 2, 3 hours, 4 hours of your week into that training, the investment of actually working with a coach is very, very little. Because a wasted investment of 400 hours across the year is far worse for your everything than not working with a coach. So that's kind of how I pitch it to people these days, is where you can be now working with a coach and where you can be by yourself, there's going to be a big difference.
I like that.
I mean, the people I work with now, they send me videos of their form, so I can tell them, hey, you're squatting too low, you need to keep your back more straight, whatever, so they're being a bit more safe. But yeah, I think the wasted time is the biggest thing that coaching can save. We can get you from A to B 10 times more quickly than trying to go alone.
Yeah, I get it. For me, like, I think it's super important, the correction things. Yeah. Because like I don't know, 1 centimeter, I won't go for 1 millimeter, but 1 centimeter here or there, when the correction is done, you just actually feel that you're doing the exercise. And it actually saves you a lot of time and a lot of time in time. And a lot, like it really works and it makes it effective training, comparing to that. Yeah. But I want to go further than I want to tell you about my story. Okay. So I also like, as I told you, I'm from Romania. So we also played everything in high school, they bring you a ball and then just go for it from, gymnastics to volleyball to everything. But then later I was trying all kind of sports myself. And I remember one thing, I actually have 2 examples with doing it with the coach. The first one was doing Pilates with the machine ones. How do you call it? Reformer. Yeah. I did 1 class. I never went back.
No, it's tough.
It was because of because of the coach.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's
like
a good point.
Pregnant woman that stressed me out, and she was probably exercising her breathing, birth. I don't know. It was just a horrible experience. Sure. Never went back. Yeah. A second one is with my previous tennis coach. I just realized that he was kind of, we were doing the work. But I would finish the training, and actually I felt that, he was like putting me down instead of making me, instead of getting motivation and instead my self-esteem going up, my self-esteem would go down. And I would always he would always concentrate on what I'm doing wrong.
Right, yeah, that's negative.
So again, how important is a good coach in any sport that you're doing? And I don't know, I made it very long. So.
No, of course, yeah. I guess the question is what can you expect from a good coach?
Exactly.
I think when you do choose your coach, it's really important to choose someone that you feel you can open up to. As you mentioned there, you should be speaking with your coach regularly. If not for weight training, it should be every day you train, or it could be every day of the week when you start. And if you're not comfortable really being honest with that person, then you're pretty much wasting your time. Be that with your nutrition habits, be that with the reason you're actually training in the first place, or even getting the sessions done. If you can't be honest with that, then there's not really any point in doing it. So choosing someone that you're aligned with. Now, fitness coaching has a kind of weird reputation because many people think your coach should be the one who's in the best shape. But that's not true at all. You don't choose the healthiest doctor. You don't choose the fastest driving instructor, do you? You choose, location is a key, but you also choose one that you think you're going to enjoy spending time with. So coaching is kind of the same. But
that's an interesting one because I don't think that I will ever go though to a overweight coach.
Sure, that's another topic on itself. But there are fantastic coaches that maybe aren't in the best shape of their life right now. Maybe they have had a baby or they've been injured. They've still got the competency and they're still empathetic and they can break stuff down. But so that's an interesting one. But I really do think honesty is the biggest thing because quite often when I have consultations with people, obviously a not common question is, why do you want to go on this journey? Why do you want to work together? And 9 times out of 10, the answers are very, very base level. It's, I want to get fit, I want to get toned, I want to lose 5 pounds, whatever, I want to get better at surfing. But as we work together, and I chip away in a nice way, you realize there is an underlying feature. It's that someone made a comment at work that they've put on some weight, or their partner doesn't want to sleep with them as much and they're kind of not turned on by them anymore. Like, the quicker you can get to that level and really find the why into the reason of the journey or the reason of reaching out to a coach, the quicker you're going to make progress.
So how do you find your clients' why?
Yeah, that's a tough one. And some people, I might not ever find it because they're very closed off and they don't want to give it to me if they don't know me that well or whatever. I think that comes through trust. It comes through showing that you have competency at the base level stuff with them. And then gradually they will open up more and more to you when they start seeing results or start feeling fitter. And yeah, building a rapport generally.
Cool.
Being interested in the client, not just saying this is what you need to do, you know?
I like that. So if somebody wants to start training with you, what do they have to do? I jump like straight to the point. If somebody wants to contact you, how can they find you?
Yeah.
I will just put like in the,
Great, that's great. Yeah, mainly on Instagram. So Dale Wallington on Instagram. Yeah, that's my main source of kind of marketing at the minute. Okay. So yeah, it'd be on there.
Okay, I'll just put in the show notes.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, let's talk happiness, right?
Cool.
Why, this is why we're here for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Of course, my first question would be, what is happiness for you?
Yeah.
And of course, what is happening? What is happiness? Sorry, mumbling. What is happiness in a relationship with fitness and, like with the...
Sure, that's a good question. And yeah, one I probably have thought about before, but never had to put a definition. So it's cool to really think about it. For me, away from the fitness kind of thing, happiness, I thought back to the times I've been happiest. And what did that feel like? I'm pretty happy right now. I've got, I'm in a really, really good place and I'm kind of there as well. So then I also thought about the times I've been unhappy. What did that feel like? And for me, I think when I'm happiest, it's when I go to bed and I'm actually looking forward to waking up tomorrow. That's kind of how I can summarize the times where I've been happiest, is that I go to bed and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm really looking forward to doing that. Or great, I've got those 4 clients in the morning, then I'm going to work. Like, if you enjoy your job and you have good people around you, then that's how you should feel. It shouldn't feel difficult that you've got to drag yourself out of bed and go and work for someone that you don't like and do a job that you hate, right? So I'm fortunate that I do have a couple jobs that I really, really enjoy, but that's when I've definitely been the happiest. So I think a good definition for me. With regards to training and fitness and well-being, it's a tricky one, right? Because it's so subjective. Happiness with their body for one person is going to be, or not body, but with their self-image is going to be very different to the other person. So I think happiness with regards to well-being is ensuring that the goalposts aren't always moving, because that's so common with everything, money, relationships, that hedonic adaptation. You're always getting used to where you're at. So even if you get in really good shape and you meet your weight target and you're strong as hell, it's ensuring that you give yourself the gratitude that you've got there and appreciating that, rather than just always thinking, oh, that person's in better shape than me, or that
the comparison that kills us all.
Exactly, yeah. So, and I know how hard that is. Like, something that I'm continually working on is checking in and saying, wow, I did really well there. My partner's very good at it as well. But if you're always moving the goalposts, you're never going to be happy with regards to training or life in general. So yeah, I think that's a big one.
Noted.
Yeah.
So going on like with the happiness subject, like for you, like in your career, was it like any specific moment when you said like, you know what, there really is a connection between happiness and fitness? And did you get it? Like, was it like a aha moment?
I wouldn't say an aha moment, because it's kind of long-term habits that have just compounded over time. It's not like I'm not a coach or have ever been a person that's like an 8-week shred, like get in shape. It's more about consistency and the long game. So for me, when I work with people and they begin to see progress, and there's so many other areas in which they see progress rather than just the metrics that we're measuring, right? So these non-measurable things, not body weight, not strength. It's like, we already touched on it, sex drive, something like that. Their partner's into them again. They are sleeping better than ever.
Definitely.
That is measurable, but yeah. It might even be confidence. I love this one, where someone is so unconfident with their body that it just, their posture's like this. And they don't want to go to work or even go outside because they're ashamed, I guess. And then gradually they come out of their shell. They've got the confidence to go and ask for a raise or go for the job they wouldn't have applied. So I really like these non-measurable things that people don't think about when they start training. They're huge for me, yeah.
I like it. I really... words of wisdom said here. Okay. Let me think. I'm just like, again, I said, like, I want to ask you so many things. I'm trying to put a structure here, but
yeah, whatever.
It's just like I have so many thoughts.
No, do it.
So I will just start by sharing that when I did my coaching course and when I studied about positive psychology, like we have a big one with like the physical element is very important in like there's the whole it's called the SPIRE model.
Okay.
S is spiritual, like meaning in life. P is physical. I intellectual. R relational, and E emotional.
Cool.
So let's focus on the P, the physical one. And we have seen that there is a very strong connection between the mind and body are very connected. And we even have like another acronym. How do you call that? Like the shortest, like the acronym.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Anyway, like with the shortest, it's called NEST.
Okay.
And we focus on the facts, the elements that actually are impacting our well-being is N from nutrition, E exercise, S sleep, and T touch. So I want to touch all of the elements. Yeah. Let's go to the first one, right? Like to the nutrition. How important is for the body? You know, like what we put in and what we eat in.
I mean, I think it's absolutely huge, and I don't think there's many people that would argue against that. It's very difficult to talk generalized about this because it's such a big topic, and I mean, every person I work with will be at some point on a sliding scale, and it's my job to kind of put them in the right direction, right? So I would say most people these days are, let's just start very base level. We've got calories. So at the bottom of a pyramid, are they consuming more than they eat each day? Are they consuming the same amount as they burn each day, maintenance, or are they under consuming? Most people are generally over consuming a little bit. That's why weight will stay mainly the same or maybe creep up a little bit. And that does come down to the fuel that's coming in. Now, that's not touching on the quality at all. We'll come on to that. That's just fuel. That fuel could be butter. They could eat 2,000 calories of butter a day.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, they don't, but you know. Just for an example. Next, you have macronutrients, proteins, carbs, and fats. I would say for most people, particularly if they're training regularly, the most important macronutrient is protein. Now, it brings these kind of like bodybuilder connotations where people are like, oh, protein shakes. It's really not like that at all. It's the building blocks of life, right? It creates new cells. So it's essential. And pretty much everyone I work with, they keep a food diary for me when we start working. They're probably under consuming protein a little bit. Is it a huge deal? No. But is it easily changed and they're going to see huge benefits? Yeah, it's not that tricky to change once you install a few habits. So... yeah, what benefits are you going to have from protein? You are going to recover more quickly. So if you're training and your muscles are damaged, that building blocks, they're going to recover themselves. You are going to feel fuller for longer. If you eat a big plate of carbs or fats, you're probably going to be hungry in 2 hours, whereas a big steak or a big piece of salmon, like you're going to feel satiated for longer. Yeah,
like the McDonald's effect, you know, you're eating and then in 2 hours you're hungry again, like all the fast foods.
That's it. And then generally, as you look at a plate, if half that plate is protein, you're just going to have less room for other stuff. So a real habit that I try and install with people with regards to nutrition is plan a meal around the protein. I've got a mate now who's in France. I'm just thinking of him. He's not cooking his own food. He's like, bro, these people do not eat protein. Like he's just getting given plates of like beans and, you know, well, beans are proteinless, but carbs and everything. So if we can change our mindset to think, what's for dinner? Okay, it's chicken and X or salmon and X or beef and X. You are going to feel more satiated. You're going to get those benefits from protein. And I understand that can be a big change for people that have never thought about it, but it takes time and it will come into play. When it comes down to carbs and fats, it's generally considered it's down to personal preference. So, you know, some people love a low carb diet. That's great because it gives them a visual or an easy thing to follow. I'm not going to eat many carbs. Great. Easy. Some people like a low fat diet. That's fine. There's no right or wrong. It comes down to what are you going to adhere to the longest. Okay, if you are...
I want to go back on that one, okay?
Good, yeah. I could give you a perfect meal plan for your height, age, weight, sex, activity level, but you're not a robot, okay? Instead, we need to find out what's actually going to work for you 6 months later, not a week later. And that's how nutrition can really bring benefit to your life.
I got like 10 different diet plans, and then I maybe on the first week I followed, and then I didn't, just because it was like too difficult for me to keep up, and I'm also like I don't cook my own meals, so it was just impossible. And I seriously I went on and on like to change nutritionists, and
I think probably working with 150 clients, I've given a meal plan with specific meals to maybe 10. To people that are struggling with other stuff. I'm like, hey, let's try this. Let's be regimented. The reason being, just as you alluded to there, it's going to work for a week or two, maybe 3 or 4 if they're really committed and dedicated and they've got a strong why. Yeah, and then they're going to go back to their original eating and they'll just regress. So there's a stat, I think 7 out of 8 people, sorry, it's obese people, so it is amplified. 7 out of 8 obese people are equally as obese or more obese a year after their diet ends. Because they just go back to the same habits, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if they didn't see it as a 8-week plan or a 4-week plan and they changed their habits, would they see as quick results? Absolutely not. They maybe wouldn't even see as bigger results in a whole year, but they'd probably stay where they are.
Yeah.
Which is far more healthy and better for your longevity
than to stress your body.
Than just do this. I've got family members who are a prime example of that. They see it as a time period. They have maybe something to get ready for, a wedding or whatever.
Exactly,
they get to the wedding, straight back to the original habits. So we're going a little bit kind of weight lossy and fat lossy here, but I heard something today on a podcast actually. You have to kind of change, it sounds so cliche, but your lifestyle has to change. If you're an alcoholic and you got rid of that alcohol dependency, you probably wouldn't go back to bars and clubs every night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
if you had a gambling addiction,
you don't go to the casinos.
Yeah, exactly. If you were obese and then you lose all that weight and then you start eating fast food every night, what do you expect is going to happen? You have to create a new identity for yourself.
Yeah.
As kind of strange and huge as that sounds, but that's the only way it's going to be long term.
Yeah. Talking about alcohol, I just finished reading the Matthew Perry's biography, the Friends Love. I don't remember exactly but the only biography that he wrote. Man, I just stopped like drinking alcohol.
Really? Yeah.
It's just hard. And not that I was an alcoholic or something before.
Yeah.
But it's so strong. He was also like dealing with alcohol and of course drugs and like the painkillers and everything.
Wow,
and actually yesterday there was like an article that came out in the press, in American press about that LAPD. They're investigating a lot of people in his death because like the one
really?
that
Oh my God.
Yeah, the people that they prescribed, the people that
it's a big problem in the States, right?
But it was a painful. I mean, it was a book that I had to read for a book club.
Yeah, okay.
But I was super happy, and I think it just it just changes the way that like some people they have like a genetic problems and then they have to deal with it for. And the funny thing is that the sad thing is that he stopped with it and. Even he managed to stop.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean that's huge. Not only the instant negative effects it has on your body, there's so many repercussions, right? If you're drinking 4 nights a week, you're probably not going to be training the 3 days you're not hungover, right? Like it just affects everything. You just feel groggy, and not to mention the calories that come from drinking.
Exactly, the sugar.
Yeah, most people that drink probably aren't in the best shape because they're getting. If a beer has 200 calories and you're smashing 10 beers, for an adult male, that's pretty much their daily intake of their entire caloric intake without having eaten anything.
Wow.
So, not many benefits. Only benefit I would say it sounds crazy, but the benefit to alcohol if you are training and want to be healthy, it can, we're not robots, like I say. If you need a couple of beers on a Saturday night to be social so that then you feel recharged on a Monday, then it's a great thing to have.
Yeah.
Right. But the opposite of that would be I'm not drinking. I must be aligned and not drinking at all. That's negative, in fact, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
For 90% of people.
Yeah. The fake like sober.
Then you're just going to rebound on a weekend and go absolutely crazy. So.
Yeah, I get it. You were explaining and then I stopped you. Okay, so we went to the nutrition and then exercise like a bigger one. We're gonna skip and then let's go to. Should we go to sleep now?
Yeah, sleep. Yeah, for sure.
I think that I saw like I don't remember if it was Mel Robbins or something like I saw on social media that was saying that like the sleep is like the most underrated benefit for people. Like people don't understand how many benefits you're getting from sleeping. For getting like at least 7-8 hours of sleep per night.
Exactly. Sleep is where recovery happens. And we're not just talking about recovery for muscles that have been trained and need to, grow again. We're talking about the brain as well. I think a huge thing with sleep is that people count their sleep from as soon as they get in bed to when they wake up. So if you get in bed at 10 and wake up at 7, you haven't had 9 hours sleep. You've probably had 7, 7.5.
Exactly.
So that's where I really like sleep trackers. Now, I'm always careful about getting people to monitor everything in their life because it just becomes a huge game and it can be stressful. But I do think sleep's quite important if you're struggling with that. Because you realize that, okay, I was in bed for 9 hours, but I slept for 7. Shit, I need to actually be in bed for 9.5. I need to get in bed half an hour earlier. So
also, it takes me some time to actually to fall asleep and to calm my mind. And actually, I'm putting some meditation, and it really helps me lately.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that I have really gotten used to having a baby is sleeping with a sound machine.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
White noise machine. I've actually got it on Tropical Rain right now, which I really like. I never thought I'd say that, but it helps you sleep so well. It just drowns out any other noise. I had my parents staying in the room next to me and they were like, did you hear that car alarm at 2 a.m? And I was like, no, just sound machine, just pure white noise. So
interesting.
Yeah, it sounds kind of meta and a bit bro-y, but if you're struggling with your sleep, I would actually say, give it a try.
And the baby also likes it?
Baby needs it, yeah. Obviously he hears every bang and dog walking in, whereas if it's sound machine, it's just
Ooh.
Yeah, he loves it.
Okay,
You can just do it on Spotify as well. Spotify if you're a speaker, replay.
But then you put it for the whole night?
Yeah, whole night, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I really like it.
Good to know.
Even when Luca's not there, I use it. Yeah, he went to Norway with his mum recently and I used the sound machine when he was gone.
Of course. We take all the good things from our kids.
Another hack there with sleep, and this is very Scandinavian, my partner's from Norway, is if you're sharing a bed with someone, have single duvets.
Ooh, so not to fight
exactly.
on the.
When we first got together, I was like, "What do you mean? That's so weird. Let's just share a double." Now I'm a huge advocate for 2, even 2 doubles. Yeah, just because you're not getting pulled apart, you've got your own big bed. Yeah, it's amazing. And I've had friends that have done it, and they're like, "Yeah, why doesn't everyone do this?"
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Okay. But then, how do you cuddle? Talking about touch.
Yeah, well, you roll over. You overlap them to start, and then.
Okay,
you can still
get
or you get under one, and then you peel one over yourself. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that for sure. I will try it. Okay, touch? Is the last one.
Touch,
also? Yeah. So the importance of touch,
for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm just thinking about COVID and all the old people being.
That's awful. Yeah, I think well that's a prime example where people weren't having any interaction with other people, and I feel that's more dangerous than a lot of diseases. Right? Is that loneliness? It's something that makes me one of my biggest the things that make me most sad is old people getting alone with no one there. Yeah, it really brings me down.
Yeah.
What's the answer there? I really don't know. But I guess if you have a partner now or you're dating or whatever, it's just spending as much time as you can with that person. Equally having time alone when you need it. Communication. If you've been in a relationship for a while, I think actually having sex regularly is so important. With a baby as well, it can become really, really...
With the baby?
Yeah, not with the baby there. It's weird.
Not with the baby in bed.
No.
Put the baby, just to make things clear.
Exactly.
Put the baby on the side. The baby doesn't have to see that.
Sure. One thing I watched just before the baby was born was 8 new tips for dads.
Tell me.
And I was like, what? None of these are true. One of them was you have to schedule sex. And I was looking at Susie like, nah, it can't be like that. And we're not like that. It's not 7 p.m. Tuesday. But it does have to be a little bit more organized. Now you're looking after a baby 24/7.
How old is the baby?
He's 15 months.
15 months? I thought he was older. I don't know why.
He's one and
got the wrong information.
No, he's 15 months, yeah.
No. Yeah. So he's a baby.
He's a toddler. No,
he's a toddler.
He's running around. He's hectic. Yeah.
Oh my God! So now it's the walking period when
running. Yes, he's on a skateboard. Yeah, he's pretty wild.
He's on the skateboard.
Yeah, he was
already.
on that 8 months on his knees, just pushing along. Yeah.
Oh my God!
He doesn't sit and read a book ever. Put it like that.
Wait for that.
Yeah. No, I'm enjoying it. It's fun.
Okay, so listen, I have let's talk about again. I'm trying to figure out what to ask you next, and I'm popping up a lot of questions. But I really want to ask you on that one because most of my listeners are busy, overwhelmed people.
Yeah.
That they're they want to exercise but they don't want to have time. They don't know how to schedule. So what would you tell to people that they have a crazy busy schedule?
Yeah.
How would they start? And the other question is how to stay motivated.
Yeah, true.
The other one is for me.
Okay. So getting started itself is the hardest part. As cliche as that sounds, I really think once you get into a routine, be that one time a week, then it's quite easy to maintain that. The other part of that is that you don't need to do as long sessions as some people think, okay? So if 3 60-minute sessions a week is out of your grasp right now, and maybe it is if you're busy, let's start with 3 30-minute sessions, or even less. You can bang out a pretty good workout in 20 minutes if you really need to. Is it going to be the most optimal workout for you to build muscle and get strong? Probably not, because that does take time and a little bit of rest and heavier weights. But just to tick a box and say, I have worked out today, get the mental benefits that bring, I really think that's huge. So yeah, I have many busy clients, like you mentioned there. And when we're on a call, I often say, how many times would you like to train a week? And they get really excited because they're on a call. And they're like,
4 times.
Yeah, 5, 6. And I'm like, is that true? I actually ask them, like, let's be realistic. And I normally bring it down 1. And when they hit that number -1 for 4 weeks, then I bring it up. Because mentally, it's far better for you to start at a number of sessions per week that you can hit consistently and then add 1. Then get to a Sunday evening, like, fuck, I've only hit 3 out of 4 sessions.
Out of 6, yeah.
And then you feel like you've let yourself down. Then it rolls over to the next week, and then you're 2 down. Like, that makes you feel like you're not doing enough. Whereas if you get to a Friday afternoon, you're like, I've done all 3 sessions. Wow, weekend off. Or I'll do like a bonus session that I want to do. That has huge benefits mentally. I've realized myself recently. So yeah, starting small, I should say. How many sessions a week can you do, and how long could those sessions be realistically? Next, these busy people are probably using some sort of scheduling, Google Calendar, WhatsApp.
Exactly.
Is scheduling it in as a meeting with yourself. Make it non-negotiable. I know deep down you're thinking, I could move that. But if you start doing that, you're going to be back at stage 1 in 4 weeks. So instead, Monday, 2 o'clock till 2:30, I've programmed a session. Great. What does that session look like? YouTube 30-minute sweat session, 25-minute sweat session so you can shower after. You're going to feel amazing after. You put the TV on, you follow it. You're going to feel great. It doesn't need to be rocket science what you're doing to start.
I get it. You know what I do talking about Google Calendar is that I put like my the trainings and everything that has to do with the health, like I put it in green.
Nice.
Like I have like different color, like the my girls are on pink.
Yeah,
then
cool.
I have another thing on black, and then I have like yellow, and then purple, and blue is like automatic from the. I don't usually use it because it's automatic from the Google. So I actually, if you look at my schedule, if my calendar just looks like a mess for people, but I kind of know. And then if I see that I have like too many of the red, like okay, that's too much work.
I like that.
The orange is also a lot of work. Like it's like the red and the orange are for work in general. So if I see like too much of red in my schedule, I'm like, okay, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I really like that.
So I definitely do use the green for any fitness.
Great idea.
Yeah, but wait a second. So I want to go back on this one with staying motivated because again, like I'm starting something and then I'm like, okay, bye. How do I keep that momentum? How do I go back, except for the scheduling which I did, and then I'm still skipping classes? So
sure, that's a common thing, and of course, everyone thinks about that. How am I going to keep this up for infinity? Yeah. It's kind of hard to answer generally because it does depend on one's goals. So if someone's looking to get strong, it would be setting strength goals. It would be saying, right now you're squatting 30 kilos for 10 reps. I think by 3 months you could be doing 60 kilos and then chipping away. Many people see that metric and those numbers as a good way of motivating because it's so measurable. If it's a fat loss goal, it may be weighing regularly. It might be weighing every other day and seeing the scale number gradually go down. For many people, that can be motivating for a time until they reach their target rate from here to here, or it might even be going up, if someone wants to gain weight, and then setting new goals there. Thirdly, it would be having someone to keep you accountable. Now, I'm obviously going to say that because I'm a coach. It's the same reason that I just used a coach for 12 weeks because got back from Costa Rica in March, just had no motivation, busy, renovating a house, baby, just slipped away from training. Training people all the time actually makes you want to train less because you're like in the gym all the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, I need to pay for a coach. So you're financially invested, you're emotionally invested, kind of linked, and then you're going to get the work done. Even my coach has a coach. My business partner has a coach. Like there's not a ceiling where you hit where you don't need coaching. Tiger Woods has a coach. Kelly Slater, the best server, has a coach. Like everyone needs a coach. People need a human to check in with, to go to when they're feeling demotivated, to go to when they're doing well. It was great texting my coach. I just hit a personal best. That's rewarding. Doing it alone isn't that fun. On that note, a training partner. Having someone that you can meet at the gym Friday 5 o'clock each week, or even someone that's following the same program as you. So you do the same session on the same day, and then you chat about it after. Humans are social, right? They need to be doing it with someone. I've got a home gym, and I actually find it quite hard to train alone at home. Whereas when a friend comes over, I'm like 20% stronger.
Exactly, of course, yeah. I like this one. Actually, with a friend, and also usually we would definitely be like, okay, one coffee before. Let's do we're gonna meet at the bar.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some catching up, and then we're gonna go to the gym and train together. It actually works.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the accountability again, right? Not a coach keeping you accountable,
Yeah.
You've got
friend.
that meeting.
Yeah.
If you say, I can't make it, you're letting someone down. So
yeah.
That works
And with
well.
the coach, I also like it because I also have a coach, a coach of a coach.
Yeah.
But we started with supervision, talking about my clients, and then it just went back to my personal life, and just I don't see my life without her.
Nice, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, motivation. What else? To ask me, what I really wanted to talk about?
Go on.
Your business, about what we talked before
About the travel business.
About the travel business,
amazing.
yes.
Sure. So yeah, that's my other business. It's called Renegade Surf Travel. A friend started it in 2018. I joined in 2020, and we run surf coaching trips in the Maldives.
Like the perfect business, right?
Yeah, so I've surfed for 15 years, was involved in the surf industry for maybe 10. I managed different camps all over the world for La Pointe and a few other companies, if you know La Pointe. And then, we started our own thing.
It's only in Maldives?
It's only in Maldives. We have had thoughts to expand, but to be
Why
honest...
not Costa Rica, yeah?
Because we just want to be the best in the Maldives, which we are, yeah. There are many companies that offer all these different destinations, and then we put it as you're digging for oil in many places. Whereas we are just doing super well in the Maldives. We've got 135-star reviews on Google. We're becoming the best known people in the Maldives for that package. And our kind of USP is that we offer coaching on board. So you will have a guide who is going to film you for 2 hours a day, but you'll also have an elite level coach. So we use the Scottish team coach, South African team coach, Dutch team coach. They are going to be on board with you to provide their services for you, which is very, very rare. Like coaching and surfing hasn't really been a thing until recently. Generally, you just teach yourself. You never really learn. You just teach yourself in the water. But now it's becoming more popular to actually get coached. So
I started with a teacher actually in Costa Rica.
So many people start and then they think they know it and then they never get coached again. We are providing coaching for level 2 to 4 surfers. So
you're going. This is what I wanted to ask. So it's like advanced,
there's no beginners. No, you're surfing over reef firstly, in shallow water over rocks. So you have to be able to be safe. And then the top level surfers we get are sometimes sponsored. They're competing. We've got the South. Where's he from? Florida, the Floridian state champ coming for us next month. So getting some good level surfers coming through.
Super cool. Yeah. What about Nazaré?
Different sport, to be honest.
Different sports?
Yeah, I would put big wave surfing and surfing in different sports. Just as I would downhill skiing and slalom or something like that. They're very different. Yeah. It's a different mindset. It's a different kind of technical capabilities.
You also need a whole team for that,
exactly.
right?
It's a team sport. Yeah, it's very, very different, to be honest. It's amazing, but different level.
Yeah. Okay, to wrap up, I have 2 questions that I really want to ask you. So the first one is favorite routines that you have. What do you do? How do you start your day, or something that you have to have it? Also for you and also for of course for other people. But
for sure, that's a good one. And many people on podcasts now come out with this 8-step perfect morning routine with red light therapy and ice bath and all that. I'm not that guy. Right now I'm survival mode with the baby. 2 o'clock last night he was playing with my nipples for an hour, which was quite annoying. So right now it's kind of wake up when the baby wakes up, make sure he's good. Not the most kind of holistic morning routine, but
it will pass.
I know. But for people that have a little bit more time, I really like waking up at the same time of day. I think that's important. Sets your rhythm, and it means you can normally go to the bed the same time of day and get your sleep kind of wrapped up. Then some sort of stretching or mobility. We're all getting older. You feel it when you get out of bed. What I really recommend for that is just a YouTube follow along. Doesn't need to be crazy. Search 10-minute lower back mobility. Put it on. You don't even have to think because you're just following. Just follow it for 10 minutes. Get in that habit. Again, with the habit, set it twice a week to begin, then increase it. Other habits throughout the day that I kind of do instinctively, but other people I realise need to think about it, is eating a high-protein diet. We've already spoke about it. My biggest tip there would be to front-load your protein throughout the day. So if you're aiming for, someone who's training should be aiming for 1.6 grams per kilo of body weight. So let's say someone's 50 kilos, it's going to be like 90 grams of protein, a bit less. No one really hits that by accident unless you're being mindful about it, right? You have to be thinking, okay, I'm eating protein. So if you have your normal breakfast of cereal and then a salad for lunch with no protein, it's 5 p.m. I've consumed nothing, and you're never going to get it in then. Yeah. Whereas if you front load it and you have a really proteinous, is that a word? High protein breakfast? Proteinous? Protein packed?
You're the guy, you're from UK.
Yeah, I'm like... If you get a high protein breakfast in
Exactly, yeah.
3 eggs, I don't know, a little bit of cured meat, something like that, a little bit of scrambled tofu.
Oh my God, I became so hungry now that you're talking about...
You've already got it's hard to go wrong from there because you're just going to naturally get the rest. So that would be my nutrition tip there. The other nutrition tip I'd give, and kind of a good routine to get into, is to batch cook. Cook up in big batches of food. I'm not asking clients to prepare all these little Tupperwares with fancy recipes in, because again, it's too much friction. It's too different from what they normally do. Instead, on a Monday night, maybe you make a vegetable wok with tofu. Don't cook one portion and then put the dishes away and spend all that time doing one portion. Cook 4 portions of rice, 4 portions of veggies, 4 portions of tofu. Bam, you've got lunch for the next 3 days. The washing up's going to be the same. The cook time's going to be pretty much the same. Yeah. So it's those little things. So in your fridge, I would always recommend having 2 portions of carbohydrates cooked up, maybe rice and potatoes. 2 portions of protein, could be tofu if you're veggie, could be beef and chicken if you're carnivore. And then you can make a meal out of that so quickly. So a go-to lunch for me would be rice, potatoes, minced beef. That's already done. Takes me 30 seconds. Some hummus, some avocado, some salad. Mix it all together. Yeah. And
it's very interesting, but I'm starving.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you can hear my...
No, I did it just a minute
Sorry,
ago.
go ahead.
So yeah, that's my hack for nutrition number 2, is having stuff ready to go in the fridge. Not meals, ingredients. You can make a burrito in 1 minute. You can make tacos. You can make a bowl. You can make a sandwich. There's different variations, okay? And yeah, I think the other stuff we touched on was the sleep and the high protein diet. So yeah, that would be my main few.
I completely forgot everything.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about the avocado, meat, food, potato. Well, anyway, it sounds super easy. Sure. I would definitely it makes sense. I really have to have to think about. I have to listen to it when I'm not hungry. Yeah. I was not hungry before, but okay.
So a realistic summary of habits that everyone can do is a 10-minute stretch. That's not much friction. It is strength training 3 times a week, 45 minutes. It is going to bed at the same time of day each day and waking up at the same time. And it is that ingredients, having ingredients cooked in the fridge rather than meals, so you can make lunch and dinner in 3 minutes flat.
I like it how you put it, all to exactly, make it in order. But when you talked about the podcast and all this, so I downloaded lately the Haberman, lab.
Yeah, he's good.
So I saw his routine, but it's also crazy.
Yeah,
so
it's not realistic.
Not realistic, no. Exactly. But I do remember so I started, we always say in coaching that, okay, start with a little thing and small changes, they make a big difference. Yeah. And always, just get one habit, make it for, adopt it for 21 days. And only after you have that habit for 21 days, then you can add another one.
Nice.
So anyway, the first habit, I just go the 2 glasses of water every morning.
That would be my other one. Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah.
And I remember here a lot of, from the cold showers, that the ice baths that I'm it's a big no-no for me. I don't know how many, I think he has 3... training, so I really don't remember all the details.
No, it's not doable.
I also like that, but I'm not there yet. I'm trying to. I'm super aware of it. Postponing the moment when you're having the coffee, not to have the coffee when you wake up in the morning. Yeah. Just to wait as much as possible to wake up.
Sure.
But then I'm I'm driving the kids to school.
Yeah.
I'm already in my sleep
of
with
course.
So how?
I mean, a lot of them. I think they say coffee acts on it's called your adenosine system. I don't know anything about it, to be honest. And that isn't awake until 2 hours after you wake up or something. Yeah, maybe that is optimal in a scientific sense, to wake you up. But if you enjoy waking up and you're looking forward to that coffee like I am, I think the benefits of that are actually higher than some sort of scientific benefits. So yeah. Again, if you're a robot and we were putting fuel in you, we would maybe wait 2 hours for that coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you've got the kids screaming and you're getting them in the car and you just want to go and get that nice caffeine, then I'm not the one that's going to tell you.
You feel like a better person after that sip of coffee.
It's habitual as well. It's the routine that people like, right? I'm the same. But
And the weekend is easier to do it, and then maybe now on holidays.
For sure.
Okay, so the last and the most important question, just to wrap it up for the listeners: how important is exercise for the well-being for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that there's no greater thing people should be focusing on for their longevity and for their health. There are many, many studies that show that. From even, I think there's a stat that 75% of CEOs from Fortune 500 companies train 3 times a week. You know, people at the top of their game are still managing to find 3 hours a week to train because they know how important that time to themselves is. And without knowing specific stats about longevity and stuff like that, you are going to live longer if you're training regularly. And then, the non-metrics that we spoke about earlier, just feeling confident in your body, going to the beach and taking off your t-shirt because it's 30 degrees and you don't want to sit there in a t-shirt. You know, if you live your life without training and that becomes the norm, it's a very, very hard habit to break. But as we discussed, it's little steps one by one to get out of that routine. Working with the coach is going to help, and your life is really going to change if you commit to that.
Talking about statistics, and like I was also, before we recorded this, I was like looking again into all the positive, all the effects of like exercise on health and everything. So on the well-being, and I was it enhances creativity and a lot of stuff, and all the stuff that you said. But then I saw something else, and talking about statistics, 52%, like it lowers the levels of dementia, like people that are actually exercising, they have like 52% lower chances of having the dementia. Whoa. Like, I was like, whoa, this is like facts. So anyway.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming.
No, I enjoyed that. That went so fast.
I know. It's like it happens to me all the time. Yeah. And this is what I hear all the. So maybe you should come for a new episode.
I can talk about this stuff all day. So I'd love to come on and take a different route and chat some more. So thank you for having me.
Okay. I have it on the camera. So.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.